So we open with Baby Bop at a policeman's ball. We're celebrating Tate's brothers promomo to the detective. So Tariq and him are gonna trade information about Sweetie so that someone can speak to Child Protective Services so we can save Yaz. Meanwhile, across town, Monet and Kane are waiting for the new connect. Oh no, we were waiting for Tariq and they all back in business. So they gotta squash their beef. Monet and Kane drive off and Baby Bop's like, dang, I can't even get a ride and I always be helping y'all out because they don't mess with you, fool. But now we at Mecca's party and they got some fool blindfolded with the butcher knife trying to hack at a pig? That's stupid. So now Kane gets introduced to Nuff, the blindfolded guy. So of course the strippers show up and Kane says Mecca ain't gonna get in on this. And Nuff says no, he's been after some heifer. He's been a lost cause since he's been here, and Mecca chokes him up real quick. Why you telling my business? He choked that fool unconscious. Kane, I'd be careful. Back with the popo, we got Carrie calling that burner phone at the police station, but she don't know what's there. So he get to asking him, did you know Jabari? And he was like, no, he wasn't my advisor. Who was your advisor? Carrie, Professor Milgram. Please. You've been cuddling in Carrie Hilson's cooch, and we know it. Can you describe your relationship with her? She's my advisor, that's it. I need to call my aunt. The popos say, just calm down and cooperate. You don't want people to know you've been in here for hours. This could wreck your draft prospects. Rumors could start. Let me just keep asking about Carrie. Meanwhile, across town, Kane wakes up at Mecca's. And he started telling Mecca about Baby Bop and the study guides that they use to sling their stash. So Mecca asks what Tariq's name is, but he don't tell him about Baby Bop. And he says, look, if you don't trust me, we can't work together. I done shown you all my business. It's time to tell yours. Kane go on and tell him, it's Tariq St. Patrick. Child, St. Patricia's nosy as he is. So Mecca says he gonna help him get Tariq under his thumb. I don't trust it. Meanwhile, Baby Bop's trying to get his sister back, and the family services lady is like, child, you ain't moving your sister into no dorm. She with the good family, and she gonna hang out there till we see what's going on with Grandmama. Back with the popo, Zeke still saying he don't know Carrie Milgram. The popo says, look, she might get fired, but she ain't going to jail just because y'all was bumping uglies. Go on and tell me the truth. However, with Carrie on campus, she's teaching with Tate. So they arguing about the idea of the greater good in the classroom while the popo's still trying to get Zeke to rat out Carrie, and he's like, there's nothing to find out. I think she had Jabari killed to shut him up. Really? You don't know this heifer. She loves sick, but she ain't no murderess. The popo tripping him up. He's like, well, you know Carrie would never be with one guy at a time. And he said she's not the type. He said, oh, well, she was Jabari's type. They was bumping bus. Now he's got him. So you weren't with her the night he was killed. Child, it was Carrie calling him on the cell phone and he still ain't answered. Lord, so he goes on and says, no, I wasn't with her the night she was killed, even though he got her saved in his phone. Okay, Zeke. Okay. Back with Baby Bop, his little class girlfriend apologizes for bolting. She just feels he's always preoccupied. He is. Then Tariq calls Stern sis and sets up a legal paycheck so he can get his sister back. And now him and his older looking white friend go to pick up the drugs from Kane. But we see Mecca peeping the whole drop off with binoculars and he spots Tariq and his older looking white friend. Okay, the older looking white friend done set up some 3D printed lockers hidden in bricks. So they've got secret stash houses. Back with Kane, Mecca pulls up and tells him the white boy your way in, he is the rich kid. I think Mecca overestimating Braden's pull on Tariq. I think Tariq will drop Braden like a bad habit at the drop of a dime. I've seen it many a time. Back with Monet, Diana asks, does Dad know that Kane's back? And Monet goes off on her. You ask your father your damn self. I'm sick of you. Back with Professor Carrie Hilson, Tate come in asking for the Wi-Fi password, and she looks beyond perturbed. So then the popo come in and he tell her he got Zeke Cross at the precinct. He tell her, UGLY, have you ain't got no alibi, you killed him. Yeah, you killed him. Meanwhile, Tate in his office listening to every word with his ear up to the wall. And Carrie Hilson saying, look, this is personal, and I ain't had nothing to do with his murder, and neither did Zeke, and you know this. Popo said, I know what you can drive a man to do, and I'm gonna arrest you and him. You're gonna pay. However, now we got Diana visiting her daddy in prison. And her pappy tell her, look, I know Kane done messed up, but family comes first. Family. Across town, Monet's meeting with Mecca. So they sit down and talk about their lives a little bit, and Monet says, it's been 24 years, what do you want? Meanwhile, with the hussy Zeke was humping, she gonna sell the little photos she took of the police arresting him to a sports outlet so she can get paid. That's what happens when a hussy gets laid. So then Brashandra starts poking fun at Tariq's class girlfriend because she's like, girl, you know you sprung over him. Hit this weed. And she's like, no, I got internship interviews. And she's like, okay, I'm going to put a Woola in your desk drawer if you ever need to relax. However, Diana pull up on Tariq and she want a meeting with his lawyer, Davis. Oh, God. So now Tariq's girlfriend runs into him and sees Diana leaving. She's like, well, what's going on with us? You brought her up here after I brought you up here? He's like, it ain't even like that. It ain't even like that. Yes, it is. So he tells Lauren to wait and he gonna show her what he's been up to this whole time. Meanwhile, Monet on a helicopter with Mecca? Okay, a chopper tea. However, Zeke trying to get in touch with his auntie and she busy getting her skyrockets in flight. Afternoon delight. But Tariq takes his heifer to go see his sis. So Lauren distracts the Child Protective Services lady and Tariq sneaks Yaz a phone. She can call him on the bat line. Or the bop line in his case. The baby bop line. So after Tariq showed the little girl his sister, they get home and bump us. So once Monet lands with Mecca at his heezy, she gets the message from Zeke that he's at the precinct. Tariq gets a message post-coitus showing the arrest of Zeke. So Reek run off to help Zeke, leaving Lauren. So he calls his lawyer Davis to get him hot on the case. Meanwhile, Zeke is trying to get the Popo to call somebody else. So he tells the Popo to go in his wallet and get his PBA card, but he finds Detective Ramirez's card in the wallet. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. So Zeke's telling the cop, look, Ramirez gave me this card himself. He's a fan. Monet comes in and says, okay, Zeke, you're leaving. Right as Davis comes in and says, I need to see my client. Monet's like, who hired you? So Davis tells Monet, look, child, you might want to go out the back. I'm going to handle the press, but you gonna need me. She's like, okay. So Zeke tells Monet what's going on, that they think him and Carrie has something to do with Jabari's murder. And she said, that's why I told you to get out of Carrie Hilson's coaching. When he told Monet she was fucking Jabari, she said, you're getting caught up in community coochie and you're on your way to the NBA? Come on. Community cooch. So he tell Monet he gave the Popo Ramirez's card and she's like, ah, shit. And he's like, well, why didn't you tell me he was dead? You never let me know anything. But Tariq's older looking white friend drops some money off to Kane and Kane starts trying to get on the good foot, telling him Tariq's his boss. He's like, no, we're partners. And Kane's like, oh, okay. He gonna work him. And so Kane gets Braden to run the streets with him because he needs more coin. But he gets a message from Monet and has to hurry off to the meeting. So of course Monet is mad at Kane because Zeke might end up hemmed up. And she's like, I gotta fix it because all you do is fuck it up. Kane, meanwhile, heads over to Tariq's and greets him with a bop in the nose. A baby bop. You gonna let Zeke go down for the murder? That was not his plan. So Tariq tries to calm Kane down and tells him, Davis will fix this, we'll be fine. So Diana was trying to get Davis to get her pappy out of jail and he said, hun, ain't no hope. Now Kane pulls up on the older looking white friend and he got the money for him and some hussies in his Honda. And the older looking friend is very impressed. Goodness, well, at least they spared us the sex, but we still have to look at a post-coital Cooper. Oh, and of course, Sachs is able to find out that someone who represented on the prosecution side of the Tejada case had been fired for evidence tampering, which means they might have a hell of a hope. So Braden's gonna be the president of Tariq's company, and he drops off the 30,000 he needs to Stern Sissy so he can get his proper paycheck. And that was the shot.